Hey, it's Ben Wise, ZOAR Fitness, and today I want to go over our 7 foundational principles. So it just so happens that we have 7 in our list, and that 7 is the number for perfection, so hopefully this is the perfect list. So our first principle, right, is that we need to maximize our strengths. So you can self-select to do any activity, physical endeavor, sport that you would like to do. So you might as well choose something that you're actually good at. But within that, oftentimes people in the pursuit of, getting better at the things that they're not as good at within this arena, that they often forget to continue to work on their strengths. And the great thing about your areas which you are particularly strong, you are relatively strong, is that you tend to adapt and get better at those areas relatively quickly. So it's just a great way to actually help yourself progress. Number 2 is the other side of that, is that we need to minimize our weaknesses. So again, regardless of how good you are actually at something, there's always going to be an area of that thing where you are relatively weak. So even if you have a 500-pound back squat, maybe it's 3/4 of the way up, your hamstrings aren't as strong as they should be, even though you're really strong at squatting, you have a relative weak area. So, and this could go for any number of things, whether it's energy systems, patterns, time duration, whatever it is, we always have something that we can be improving upon and bringing up a lagging area in our fitness. 3 is that we can optimize our frame for the test. So your physical body, your frame, needs to match what task you're asking it to do. So if you're a gymnast or a wrestler or an endurance athlete, you're probably going to be trying to manipulate your body weight down for the most part. If you're a powerlifter or a strongman, you're probably trying to bulk up and fill out your frame as much as you can. And for each sport and activity, where you're actually holding the mass, how it's distributed throughout your body is a very important foundational part of you getting as good at as you possibly can for that thing. So we need to optimize our frame, our physical body for the task that we're asking of it. Number 4 is that we actually have to teach to the test, right? So we have to train in a way that mimics the way that we are going to be evaluated, we're asking ourselves to perform. Obviously we need a foundational good movement, fundamental patterns, and things that we can just hold as a base for us. However, without stripping away a lot of the things that can get in the way, and that includes lifestyle factors, we'll never able to actually express performance in a single avenue, which is the goal if you're competing. So again, it's often about what we're not doing and stripping away everything else so that we can focus on the tasks that we need to get as good as possible at. Number 5 is that movement is a never-ending quest. So your movement, and this can be movement as a kind of a concept, or it can be actually like your movements that you are required to do in whatever sport or task that you're trying to improve at. You are going to be continually working to get better at those movements, and you can continually learn what maybe the perfect movement is, and then also figuring out what your best version of that is, so that virtuosity, individualized component of it as well. Number 6 is that breathing is the most fundamental movement. Breathing is one of the only movements, besides maybe like your heart beating, that you're doing all the time. And if you ever stop breathing for an extended period of time, you die, right? So it's this fundamental aspect of life, and regardless of what task you're asking yourself to do, whether it's on the far end of the strength spectrum where you're trying to create maximal stiffness and brace, or it's on the far ends of the endurance spectrum where you're breathing and again trying to produce metabolism that way and through oxygen and getting rid of waste products, like whatever your goals are, breathing is a fundamental aspect of that, and breathing and state go hand in hand. And then lastly, number 7 is that the mind and body are inseparable. So we've all heard of the mind-body connection. However, that's completely true. Like, they are inseparable. They're incapable of being pulled apart and teased as to what's one, but what's maybe not the other. So if you want to express your potential for your body, you have to work on your mind, and vice versa. So if you want to be the best that you possibly can at a physical task, you need to be working on your psychology and the mental aspects of your game. So there is our 7 foundational principles. Hope you enjoy.